in the Facebook group. Haley's on.
Hi.
Nan is on. Living Well Now is on. And we are streaming into the lifestyle group. So good to see everybody. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted, Sheila, so you'll have to unmute yourself here in a second again. But we are at 5 o'clock, and I know we may have people joining us late, so I always like to start promptly. Sheila Otter, thank you so much for being a guest presenter tonight. We're really, really glad to have you. Deborah, probably can tell this story better, but sometimes it's fun to hear my perspective because I think you were one of the first people who put my brothers and I on a stage. I think we always aspired to that. And when Sheila was a senior in college, she asked the Lehman kids plus a couple of extra neighbor kids if we would sing and even do a little dancing with you as an educational opportunity. So it's no wonder, fast forward a million years, I can't even do that those years in my head.
A lot.
And you're frozen. I think she was 10. Sheila, I think Ange was 9 or 10. There you are again. You were frozen a bit.
Okay, so I'm still good?
Yep.
Okay, so, but one of my favorite parts of who you are, Sheila, is you are a feeler. More than anybody I know, one of the most feeling people. You have an innate sense of energy and how God's love is manifest. Truly, I know we talk about that in our essential oils world, but you see that and you feel that deeply. And so I'm just grateful that you're going to give us, I think, some of that sort of insight tonight with regard to these beautiful oils that you've been using now for probably close to as long as we have.
Well, 7.5 years now.
Yeah. So welcome, Sheila. And Deborah, I'll just say my mom, Deborah Lehman, is the other amazing woman on this call tonight. Not that all of you aren't, you all are amazing too. But in terms of leadership, so if there's more that you want to add to that, Mom, you're welcome to. At the end, I'll come back on live and tell a little bit about what's coming up. But for right now, we're just really excited to have you, Sheila.
Yes, we are. And so, Sheila, we're honored. We're honored that you said yes. And Ange and I'll be working behind the scenes with helping with giveaways tonight for your questions. So let us know how we can be helpful.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you to both of you. That's why we connected right away. It's because feelers, right? So totally get that. So I'm honored. I am to be asked to be part of this team, to be part of this company, to be part of all of this is such a wonderful experience in itself. But so I just a little bit of introduction of who I am. My name is Sheila Otter. I'm coming to you tonight from my home in Gig Harbor, Washington, though I grew up in Indiana. So that's where I lived all the way up to 4.5 years ago. And but this feels like home too. So it's so great. And I'm a daughter, a sister, wife, mother, teacher, believer, young living leader, and lifelong learner. I am also not a chemist, a doctor, a naturopath, medical, or essential oil expert in any way, right? And as Ange said earlier, I have been using these oils for a while, for over 7 years, and I still keep learning about them because when I attend classes or read or watch a YouTube video or listen to a podcast, it strengthens my faith. It strengthens my faith in the oils, in this company, in what I am doing for myself and what I did, for my family, my husband, that sort of thing, and for my team. And that's really important. And so when I just wanted to share part of those wonderful things that I have written down in my journal or come across recently in lots of different ways. that just inspire me and get me so excited. And like I said, it strengthens that faith and belief. And I think we can all use that, right? Especially in times like this. And also because we forget. We're creatures of habit and we fall back into old patterns, or we fall back and we forget the wonderment of it all. So that's what tonight's all about. And you can participate live tonight by, take your own notes. You might, not only for yourself, but you may be that person to pass on that inspiration to strengthen someone else's faith and belief. And also you can participate in the chat and earn something spectacular from our Living Well Now team, a $20 product credit. We're gonna have 4 winners tonight. So there will be times that I'll ask you to actually put your answers in the chat, and then we'll pick a winner as we go along. So you know how things like this, anyone who's ever put a class together, you put so much like effort into it and you get excited, and in your head, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a class. It could be, I think, anything, like a wedding. In your head, you're putting it all together and it seems like it's all going to be like this way. And then it starts like unfolding, and maybe it seems awkward because it's not matching how you had planned it. But in the end, it's all okay. So that's where tonight's going to go, I am sure. So here we go. It's kind of like all these wowzas, okay? And I'm going to start off with one, like when I read this, it just kind of like, it made me really stop and think about what kind of beautiful power we have in this essential oils in this bottle. So did you know that a single drop of essential oil contains 40 quintillion molecules? Seriously, that's a 4 with 19 zeros after it. All right, 40 quintillion molecules in a single drop of essential oil. So in your body, you have 100 trillion cells. Each of us do. So 1 drop of oil is enough to cover every cell in your body with 400,000 molecules. That's why a little essential oil can often get the job done, right? And address every cell in your body. And I will tell you, when I first started with Young Living, Deb will tell you, I signed up over the phone. I had not smelled it. I didn't know what they were. I just knew I needed them. And when I got them, it was kind of like staring at me, like as if it was something from Mars. I'm like, what do I do? I was almost afraid to open the bottles. And I really used them all, used them every day. But there was one oil in particular that, when I think about this amazing fact, I remember in using it, and I still to this day it happens, that I could feel it like in my body moving, and it was a life changer for me. And that oil for me was valor. Okay, guys, to this day, still, when I apply this blend, whether it's on my arm, in the inside of my wrists, on my neck, on the bottom of my feet, wherever I sense that I just want to put it on, I can immediately feel like around that area, and within 20 minutes, it's just really my whole body, I can feel it. So here, let's start off with a giveaway right away, because I think this is always so exciting to hear from people when they begin to use oils. I'd love for you to tell us the year you started. If you are someone on this listening and you are a member already, tell us in the chat the year you became a member and the oil that was the first oil that really brought wonderment to you. Whether maybe it was just because it helped with relieving something. I don't know what it was, but what was that one oil? Now, if you're someone listening tonight, because we asked people to invite anyone, all their friends and family. So if you're someone you're not a member yet, why don't you can enter the drawing by putting the name of the person who invited you. And if you know of an oil that you look forward to try, maybe it's even Valor because I told you about it, you could put a name of an oil, but you don't have to enter the drawing. So that's what you're going to do while I continue. And then Ange or Deborah, I'll just let you guys decide who that winner is going to be in a little bit before our next chat. We'll announce that winner. Okay? All right. So good deal. I'd love to see, all those answers. All right, so here's another fact that filled my heart with awe when I learned it, and I'm sure it happens to all of us. So Young Living seed to seal process, right? It's a promise of quality guaranteed through extensive testing, through the way they, do everything, the harvesting, distilling, all of that. So when we get what we get in this bottle, I'm going to pick another favorite of mine. Oh my goodness. Northern Lights Black Spruce is another one of those oils for me. When what we get in this bottle, we get this guarantee that it's going to be as close as it can be to the essential oil that's in the plant, right? So why is that such a big deal? It is such a big deal. There are lots of reasons, but I love this. This says it's best. This says it best. When we use Young Living natural grade essential oils, because the way they're harvested, distilled, the way they are tested and bottled, they manifest an ability to organize. See, they can bring healthy order to a confused and sick organ, or tissue that's all disorganized, a person whose emotions are disorganized, dispelling diseases and restoring balance to our systems. Okay, this organizing power is really what the term organic originally meant. Think about it. That original name, organic, it means organizing. And that's how God created all of nature. There is a rhythm, there is an order, there is pattern in nature, right? You take man-made synthetics, now you've got artificial, fake, you have it goes towards disorganization or disorder. And health is harmony. Dis-ease is disharmony. So guys, when you have, when you think yourself, even, those times of a little skepticism, or man, I could buy this bottle of lavender for $5 at the Walmart or wherever it is. And why do I want to spend the money from Young Living? Oh my goodness, the difference is huge. In fact, there really isn't, it's either go for what's real or go for fake. That's going to be disorder, right? Disorganization. So by contrast, I just love that idea that natural grade, we sometimes hear therapeutic grade, right? But Young Living, natural grade. It's organizing, harmonizing power. And that's absent from oils that are created synthetically. And I think of it like it's like a dead lab, right? Right? And understand my heart. Coming from a wife of someone who works for a pharmaceutical company, he uses these oils. He has seen, I've made it's made a believer, out of him, for him, that they work. However, there is a place for our medicines, and that there is time for those that may help people. So we're not bashing that. We know that anyway, we've got those in place. So I just want us to just think about what we have what choice you've got, and the natural always does bring that order. So artificial essential oils, also think artificial perfumes and fragrances. So that's why you hear us say, get away from the candles, get the toxins out of your home. All of that is because those things are produced in that dead environment, on that chemical lab, and they're void of vitality and the life-giving force that comes from products that are natural and are made by living processes, right? So I love it. Seed to seal guarantee is wonderful in a lot of ways, but that particular way to me just touches my heart every time I think about it. Okay, so since we're talking, about the life force of a plant, I got another amazing fact about essential oils. Now, you may already know that essential oils offer us humans the many protection and benefits that it offers its plants, right? You probably hear that at your intro classes. You share that at intro classes. For example, we know in a plant, essential oils, they work at, if a plant is bruised or cut or damaged, it's the oil of the plant that immediately protects it from infections and initiates the healing process. And we know they do that in our bodies too. But I love this particular benefit that I came across recently. It was actually in The Chemistry of Essential Oils Made Simple by Dr. David Stewart. I see it down there. I'll probably show it at the end. But I was reading this and it really sparked my interest when I found out, did you know that an essential oil in a plant can protect a plant from dehydration? Those of you coming from the desert tonight, right? A lot of the desert plants, they have the essential oils because it does protect them from that. Well, I kept reading and he was saying, this is so amazing to me, that, in the Eastern and Midwestern United States, and I know this because, in living in the Midwest, but if you travel even further east, there are often long periods of time that they have that is very dry, especially at the end of summer, early fall. And during these times when the wind's not blowing, one can see like this haze that's hovered over the forested hills or the valleys in the late afternoon. But it's not smoke and it's not fog. It's actually a cloud of essential oil molecules that is being emitted by the trees to blanket the forest, and that reduces evaporation to preserve moisture. Right? So how cool is that? And that's where the Great Smoky Mountains got their name. Not because of smoke, not because of fog, but from essential oils. Again, incredible of what we have at our fingertips of what nature's already doing. So I don't know, I didn't catch the chat just yet. I don't know if we have anyone coming to us. Well, I guess I did ask you, where you're coming to us from. I don't know if any of you coming from the Smoky Mountains, but pretty cool that you get to look out over that and see that and just know that that's what's happening. And here's another inspiring fact about essential oils and creation. All the junk that we allow into our environment or into our bodies will actually slow down the impact of the essential oils that we're using in and on our body. So having a great foundation for health, when you hear us talk about, guys, we have to eat right. We have to choose good foods, life-giving foods in our body. You hear us talk about drinking plenty of water. You hear us talking about getting the exercise, reducing stress in your life, eliminating the use of those artificial, right, chemicals in your home, tending to the condition of your soul. All of these things will actually make the essential oils more effective in your body. You'll get more benefit from them if you do all those other things. So important. It's not just because, it's good for you. But if you want to strengthen your faith and your wonderment and your belief in these essential oils, you'll get more benefit when you are allowing your body to respond to them a lot easier, right? In a less stress way when you're doing those things like eating well and exercising and taking care of your emotional. I keep going to this part because to me that's the heart of who you are. So let's do another chat, but first, get ready, Deborah or Andrea, Angela, whoever is announcing a winner. We'd love to hear who is going to be our winner from chat number 1. But before we do that, let's have another chat. Think about this. Let's have an honest check-in with the chat right now. What is or was the hardest thing you've given up because you've learned the negative impact it had on your health? For me, it was Diet Coke. 7.5 years ago, right? So what is or was the hardest thing you've given up or you should be giving up and you just haven't yet, whatever that is? Just, you don't have to tell us that part, but just name the thing that it had a negative impact, so you chose to give it up or you must give it up. So put that in the chat. Do we have a winner, Angela?
We do. I'm laughing because Nan has an inside joke. She just wrote corn down as her, and you use the word eliminate a couple times that I was kind of chuckling too. When you've been through cleanses, because essential oils are the gateway to healthier living, and you realize what your body needs to flush out once in a while, words like eliminate and poop and corn all kind of run together. So Nan, thanks. You threw me off my game.
Love it.
Diane, thanks for lifting that up too. Lysol products and soda. Yeah. Lots of others, the aspartame for sure in Diet Coke. So that's noticing ingredients.
fabric softener was hard for Andy, my husband, to give up. He loved the smell. Ah, bless his heart, he doesn't need it anymore.
I can say I've converted over to dryer balls and I love them.
Haley, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. Ah, yes.
Yep. So our first winner tonight is is Emmett, sorry. Yay, Emmett Gaston. So we are so grateful to you. Thanks for commenting. She said her gateway oil was peace and calming, Sheila. So
That's so
congratulations.
Ah, Emmett. Hey, Emmett's in Arizona, and but she's one of my lovely team members. I'm so grateful for her. That's awesome. Well, good. Okay, so keep putting in. If you haven't yet put in that thing that was hard to give up, or you know you should give up, put that in and do this. Go to your chat and look through what people have given up. Think about it. Maybe it's something you've not even thought of, and you've been using or ingesting or whatever. And now because people are giving it up, that it's something that will interfere with the productivity of those essential oils. All right. So that's pretty important. And thanks for your honesty with that, because, I think that's, anyway, it's good to really be honest about your journey with the people you share essential oils with, and just it's just important to be honest. So that's good. All right, so our body systems are pretty profound. That we are truly awe-inspiring and wonderfully made by our Creator. And it truly does matter what we put in and on our bodies. But this next piece, when I read about this whole thing, because I don't know a lot about pH levels and that sort of thing in our bodies, just like jaw-dropping for me. I'm like, oh my golly. I mean, I want to know more. I want to learn more. And maybe this is where cleanses and other things can really be helpful for me to understand how this all works. But really, what have come to find out, we don't understand how acidic our body can become because of what we're eating or drinking, or thinking, or not forgiving, that kinds of things, and the negative impact that acidity has on our oils and so on the oils that we're using. So let's unpack that a little bit. All right. So acids attack oils and destroy them. So when the blood in your tissue is on the acid side, essential oils are compromised in what good they can do. And it takes more of them to achieve the same effects. So if you're using essential oils, but you're still eating a lot of foods with white sugar, you're drinking soft drinks. I know that's such a hard one for people to give up, especially diet sodas, right? But you're still drinking soda drinks, soft drinks. You're drinking a lot of coffee. You're eating a lot of acidic foods, like a lot of cheese. You put butter on everything. We're talking about, foods are going to have acid in them and that sort of thing. And we're talking about moderation here. But if you're overdoing it, then, and also if you're not getting the right kinds of exercise, like some people, be careful, those Fitbits or whatever it is that count your steps, and you're like so excited about your steps, but you're getting your steps because you're like sitting in a chair and you're moving like this, making the steps go up, and you're all excited because you reached your goal at the end of the day. That's not the right kind of exercise, guys. All right. And if you're not lowering stress in your life, if you're on antibiotics, often antibiotics are acidic. They increase this acidity in your bodies. Then you are affecting the pH level in your body, and an unhealthy pH level in your body fluids is not good. Okay, so many people with unhealthy acidic condition in their systems will respond negatively to the scent of essential oils. So let me say that again. All right, so people who have maybe a lot of acidity, then they're going to respond negatively usually to the smell of an oil. They'll say things like, oh, that stinks, or get that out of here, I can't stand them. All right, so I know I've done that before, and Emmett, you're not going to believe this, but it was peace and calming. When I first started with Young Living, I smelled peace and calming and I thought it smelled like a horse barn. I'm like, everybody loves this oil and I couldn't love it. Guess what I now put on myself every night before going to bed? Peace and calming. But it shows us that our bodies, we're not always going to be at homeostasis all the time. It's just not that way. It fluctuates. So we just have to keep, working at and always being aware. That's what it is about too, is just be aware. Don't beat yourself up, but be aware. It's like, yeah, I guess maybe I have gone a few days without the exercise, or, oh yeah, I got caught up and eaten all the bad foods again. And so reset, restart, begin again. Okay, we can choose to begin again. That's what's so great. There's a lot of grace in all of that. So that's a reaction. A lot of times if somebody says it stings, and I'm not talking about, oh, I don't really like that, or like, that's interesting. It's not that. It's like, that's awful. That reaction, when it's really unpleasant, a lot of times it stirred up the toxins which need to be eliminated, right? And so it's the toxins that cause the unpleasantness, and a lot of that's is from acidity. So we know detoxification is not always pleasant, as even cleansing is not always pleasant, thinking of all those words that Angela used, right? But it's necessary, guys. It's necessary to maintain health, but it's necessary also for this, and that is to experience longevity. We are a people, a society that a lot of times we only think about like the next hour, tomorrow, maybe 5 years, but often not. We don't really think about how our actions are going to impact our health, our life 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the way. That's why I said yes to Deborah Lehman, because I saw, as a young 19, 20-year-old, I saw this mom of 3 kids work very hard at the time. It was not Young Living yet. That hadn't come into her life or my life. It was her farming background and her knowing that nature and life-giving substances come from the ground. She was giving those healthy supplements to her kids. And anyway, she and John both just allowing that. And I saw that's so different than what I was used to. And they were thinking of 20 years, 30 years, 50 years ahead. And now here we are, Deborah, here we are. And so now I want to think of that longevity. And I know you do too. So once a person's acidity and toxicity levels are reduced, then they will find they actually like and enjoy the very fragrance that they once couldn't tolerate. So I know that's happened to some of you. So this statement's also truer for acidic personalities. And this is where, again, for those of you who know, about forgiveness, that forgiveness, when we harbor and do not forgive a person, it's not that person usually that is hurt. It's our own self, because we're harboring in it, and that's that acidic personality. So negative and destructive emotions, hate, resentment, bitterness, anger. Just listen to if ever you read something, hear something, respond to something, and you get red in the face or you get hot, that is what I would call something's out of order. And that's, if you continue and you don't deal with it, then that's going to affect your health. It's going to affect the way the oils are working in you and your supplements and all that. So, think of those things. And so the phenomenon is the basis. This phenomenon is a basis for emotional release with oils. So there's a plug for you, Angela, and all that you do with all of that. I mean, it's so important for us to think about that. So we're wonderfully made. We are given such grace simply by using essential oils every single day. Listen to this. This is what they'll also do with our balance of the pH levels. The molecules will willingly sacrifice themselves to the acid, engulfing and neutralizing the free radicals in our body so that we don't have to suffer the mischief anymore. So Don't wait till you have symptoms to use an oil. That was something that had, that's taken time. But when we're used to Western medicines, like, oh, I have whatever, oh, my muscle hurts. Oh, I have this pain back here. Oh, my stomach. That's when we do something, we go for whatever's in the cabinet. No, essential oils, use them every day, so that those oils, that's what they're doing. They're going through your body, and you don't realize it. You've got free radicals all over because of all that I told you about before. That because we're not always perfect eaters and perfect, at exercise and all that. So it's gonna help with that, with bringing that balance to you. So when I just learned about that on the chemistry science kind of way of how the molecules are working, it's phenomenal. And we don't have to understand the chemistry of it to know that they work, but it's really pretty cool. So we're moving along here, but I would love to know, we're going to have another chat here, because I want to know, what oil did you think was really stinky? Or maybe you still do, and that's okay. What oil? And it changes for me, right? It might change for you too. But what's an oil is so stinky when you first smelled it? And maybe now you love it. I don't know, but maybe it's still stinky. But I want you to put that in the chat. It's kind of fun to see because, like I said, I mean, peace and calming. I know, there will be others. I don't want to spoil what others might say, but sometimes people are surprised. Oh, but I love that one. How could you say that? Everybody's different. So don't ever say that to someone if they don't like an oil. Don't get down on them. It's just how their body is reacting to it at the time. So put that in, and maybe we can get a winner to chat too. I don't know if we have that.
Yes. Yes, we do. Our winner number 2 is Leah Heller. Thank you so much, Leah, for writing in about Diet Coke and aspartame, teaching us to read our ingredient list. We appreciate that. Sheila, as I see these coming in, the chat, I think, and to your point about emotions, that's exactly what Carrie O'Connor is going to be doing on the last Wednesday of the month, is helping you smell through the feelings kit, the oils that come in the feelings kit. You wrap all the bottles, and then you uncap them and smell them to get a sense of what you like and what you don't like. And that's indicative of some of the things that are going on in your life. It's a really powerful study, and it shows just how well our brains kind of pinpoint what could be going on under the surface. So you've given us some amazing content about the toxicity of our being. And I think that's going to take it to the next level too. So thank you.
I feel like this makes me, this is another thing I get excited. Don't you feel like all we have done, I mean, you guys have been using them longer than I have. And Deborah, you've been using them, that we only dip our toe, right? We dip our toe in it and we get so freaking excited. But every time we keep learning, it's like we're going deeper and deeper into the well. I mean, I'm working on I feel like there's another class coming with that too, is that there's a deeper well, right? Because we just dip our toe. So I love that it is connected. It is, yeah, definitely. Now I love seeing these. I saw cedarwood pop up, all these. This is so fun. Here's what I want to challenge you before I move on. Remember what that oil is and was, or be aware that if it happens again, like, those promo oils you get and you open it up and you go, whatever. And you never, you're like, why am I experiencing that? Just set it aside, and then intention. Okay, it's all about intention. Open up yourself up and begin to just, you might intentionally research or just be ready, because you're going to start learning. People are going to start talking about that oil, and just take it in and begin. Just maybe do some research about what it's used for, and kind of, anyway, the benefits, what spotty systems, and it may really reveal a lot that's going on with you at the time. So isn't that cool how that connects? So that's what I would want you to do. Yeah, I hope you win here in a little bit, but I also think that you should remember whatever that oil is, or in the future, what that oil will be. All right. So, all right, guys, this next wonderful tip will help every single one of you. All right. And you'll want to share this with your friends. Sometimes it happens that you have a situation, right? You have some sort of thing that happens, or a feeling, or a symptom that you get, or whatever, and it calls for a specific oil and you don't have it. What are you supposed to do, right? Here's the answer. Use what you've got, okay? It's true, molecules of specific oils are specially suited to like maybe stimulate certain receptors in our body, okay? So that's true. So some are best, like when we think of peppermint, I immediately think of my digestive tract because peppermint has molecules that really, that help with those, that attract to those receptor sites and stimulate them and help bring balance. And there's others for like muscles and some for the nervous system and some for, cardiovascular and so on. So when you look up in your, your app, or you go online, or you look in your book, your reference guide, pocket reference guide, and you look up a symptom and you see all these oils and and you still don't have any of them, why? I'm telling you, use what you got. And here's why I want to illustrate this a little bit. And this illustration is not mine. I'm giving this credit to Dr. Stewart as well, because I love this. He says, okay, think about this in a company. They train employees, right, for certain tasks. So you will have some that are secretaries, and you've got some that are shipping the goods, and you have some that operate the machine, and you have some that are working with the customers, and some that are in sales. When a company gets in a crisis, and this has happened to Young Living, right? They pull from the customer service line to come down to the warehouse to fill orders because they need people there, or probably not vice versa. But anyway, that's what a company will do. They will, in a crunch, take from one department, fill in another department temporarily, even though they're not trained for that particular job at hand. And then when the crisis is past, the urgent tasks accomplished, the workers simply return to their usual jobs. Oils can do that too. So a particular oil may not be the oil of choice for a particular task, but when you're in a pinch, it's gonna still get the job done because oils follow intent. They will respond to directions given verbally, mentally, or by prayer. And I have experienced this, you guys, because I know this is going to surprise you, and I'm embarrassed to say sometimes, but I have been caught with my purse. That I sometimes switch purses, right? And something easier to take, and I'm out, and I look, and I need thieves, and can you believe it? I didn't bring I have my thieves sanitizer, but I don't have my thieves oil, and I really need that. The only thing I had was my Grow. All right, I had my Grow blend, and I had it was just a simple, it was like a scratch, and it had open skin kind of thing, and I just wanted to put a drop of thieves on. I put, you could put hand sanitizer or whatever on it, but I literally grabbed my Grow. I carry that roll on around all the time, and I had it in my little pocket purse, so I just took it out. I started putting it all over the place, and I knew, because I have this belief, I know these oils are going to work. I have had that, I have that faith that's building. So with that, amazing. I mean, like it really just, it cleared that place up. Now, later, if it had continued to bother me, I would have been at home and I could then go to the thieves. But amazing how that can work. And so kind of, say that to people. I think sometimes we get worried because, oh my goodness, I'm out of my lavender. I use lavender every night to go to sleep, and I am out and my order's not in. I need lavender. So they go on and they ask for anyone to get, who has an extra bottle of lavender. I understand, there are some things that are really helpful for that, and you kind of want to stick to what works, but in a pinch, go with what you have, right? Essential oils are not just about chemistry. Consider themselves bottles of possibilities, and remember that in any given application, they will manifest what they're intended, let me read this. I want to get this correct. They will manifest what you intend them to manifest, So if you are skeptical and you're like, this is probably not going to work, think about that. People who you said, here, peppermint for your, your headache. I just put it on there. It helps, get me in that sense of, I breathe that in and I feel a whole lot better. And other people who are very skeptical may try that and not at all feel the same effect, benefits that you're feeling from the oil. So that can be why. So if you don't have exactly the right oil, use what you got with great confidence, and let the oil do its work. And one last awesome thing I want to say about essential oils that's so good to know. When you are diffusing, ingesting, or applying essential oils, it's good to start. You've probably heard this, that less is better or less is best rule, right? Because usually all you need to do is trip a few receptor sites just to awaken your body's organs and natural functions. Think about it. You don't need to to turn on the light in your room. You don't need to take like a bat and like go after the light switch to turn it on just so that you get light, right? You just need the flick of your finger. And it's the same way really with how oils in our body works. One molecule may be all it takes to trip a receptor site. And here's what I really want you to know. Too much of an oil at once could actually produce a reduced response or maybe no response at all. So this all came about, I was learning this when I read Dr. Stewart's story about something that happened to him when he was using peppermint, when he first learned about essential oils. So I got to share this with you because I think we can all relate to this, and it might answer, a question if it's ever happened to you. So when he was first starting using essential oils, he heard that peppermint oil would help keep him awake if he became drowsy when driving at night. And that's a lovely thing, right? I know I've used it for that. So it was late evening and he decided he was getting pretty tired. And so he thought, I'm gonna use it. And since I'm pretty tired, I naturally probably need a lot of peppermint. That is a product of what we, as in the consumer world, what we've been brainwashed is that you need a lot of this to make it like really work, right? Nah. So anyway, he's thinking, I'm really tired. I need a lot of peppermint. He doused it on his head. He doused it on the back of his neck. He rubbed it around his steering wheel, thinking that he wants it all, and he's inhaling it really deeply, and he's thinking, all right, I'm going to definitely stay awake now. But actually he nearly fell asleep because he couldn't figure out why. And being the scientist, the chemist that he is, that really stuck with him for a couple of days. And so he began to think about it. He's like, oh my golly, it makes sense. What he did, it was totally receptor site overload. All he needed to do was trip a few receptors, but it's like he explained it this way. I loved it. When think about an old typewriter, if you put too many fingers down on too many keys, all of them got stuck all at once, right? And nothing could happen. And that's kind of what it's like when you use too much. So the next time, he went on to say that the next time that happened and he got really tired, he didn't even apply a drop. He actually just opened the bottle and smelled it. And he couldn't believe that's all he needed was that one smell. And he was wide awake for the rest of the driving that he had. And so guys, it's that simple. That's why we start with less. Don't waste. It's not, I don't know if waste oils, but your body may only need a few drops, and a few may be different for you than it is for your husband or your sister or another friend. They may need 5 drops and you need 1. Some 10, some whatever. I don't know, but start less, and then always you can apply more frequently after that as needed. But don't give up with them just because, I think that's the other thing that fills me with wonder. And I love it. And that maybe that's the teacher in me, the learner in me. I hope that will be for you too as a learner, is that questions, don't be afraid of questions. Don't be afraid if you don't understand why something's happening. Oh my goodness, my skin's turning red. This happened to me last night. It happened when I was going to bed, and I thought I got to remember to tell you guys tonight. So this is great. If you ever get to the end of a bottle, so I'm putting lavender in our diffuser, which I do every single night for 7 years, and it's almost out, but I can see there's a little bit in it. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to take off the cap, and I'm going to just slowly pour whatever's left in there because I don't want to wait. I want to go to bed. I was like, so I'm popping off using my lid, right? Popping off that piece like that, but I didn't go very slowly. I did it so quickly that when I popped it, a drop of lavender went right into my eye. Seriously, I mean, like right into it. And did it burn? Yeah, burn. Like it was like strong. But I love these oils so much. And I know like my faith keeps strengthening. I didn't panic. I just kind of like, oh golly, you know, I didn't even get mad. I mean, I got learning about that because usually who I get mad with is myself. I don't know if you're like that. That's where my anger, bitterness, I get so hard on myself. It's like, huh, I just did that. And I walked patiently, just walked to my bathroom, found my V6 oil, put a little bit, I actually put it over my eye. I just kept telling myself, it's going to go away. I know it. It's not going to hurt me or harm me in any way. I'm going to be okay. It was really strong. And, you know, but I mean, tears are just rolling out, but I just calm, got into bed. I like sniffling a little bit. My husband's like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I just got blood. And less than 5 minutes, it was completely okay. So I hope that you will let questions guide your wonderment, because God will lead you to the answer. If you will, be open and ready. Deborah Lehman, you taught me palms wide open, right? Be ready for it and expect it. Expect that there will be an answer. And if you don't understand, you know, call someone to get some support or help. If you know you don't, yeah, if you don't have the resources or whatever, you don't have to have every book. You don't have to know everything about it to be what do I want to say, to get the benefit of the oils. So as we wrap up here, we'll have one more chat and we'll announce winner of 3, but one more chat. I would love for you, would you share with me, you know, one thing tonight that was said that provided some wonderment for your, or it just makes you think, yeah, these oils are wonderful, that you'll take away tonight. And if nothing tonight, that's so okay. Maybe share something else that you always, when you hear it, you're just like, these are wonderful. Share that. We'll come back and choose a winner from that list after the announcements. And I know Angela wants to share about upcoming classes, but let's get a winner for chat 3, for the chat question.
Chat 3 winner is Rowena Cardoza. Congratulations. We're really grateful for you being on. We had a couple people that said cedarwood was not their favorite scent. I will say that is when I diffuse with Stress Away in my son's diffuser. That seems to be a good combo. The Stress Away sort of offsets the cat pee smell people say cedarwood has. So let's just be honest and call it what it is. And so that is a really calming blend for his room when he's studying or sleeping. So, and cedarwood is super high in sesquiterpenes, and I don't use a lot of science words, but that's one that's really important to supporting brain health. So if you do some research on that, I think you'll be pleased with what you find out. And it may make you a little more confident in finding a blend that cedarwood works with for you. Okay, and then you've got a lot of people who've gotten so much out of tonight, Sheila. I hope you're reading those comments and just soaking that all in. I am going to give a couple of announcements. You heard me say that on the 30th, Carrie O'Connor is going to teach. Every Wednesday night has become continued education night. So you can just sort of count on this, whether it's live streamed into the lifestyle group. We do record them. They're on our YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube to Living Well Now and find all of the recorded videos from our Wednesday sessions that we've been having since March, actually. They're under a playlist called Oily Education. We're very grateful to our leaders for putting those together, plus more classes. Last night we had an incredible turnout for Lula Schiller with Yamilka Muniz, and so we're very, very grateful to have that on our YouTube channel as well. But the big announcement I wanted to make is we made a switch today that next week we are going to have an introduction to oils class, and we still are, but we're focusing in on the new Little Oilers Premium Starter Kit. So we will have a presentation ready for and testimonials and a full 45 minute class that you can invite your guests and friends to attend. All you have to do is send them this Zoom link, which ends up being like My Living Well Now or something. And that's pasted everywhere. But that way then they can come and learn all about getting started as a member with Young Living using these blends that are specifically formulated for children. And I will also toss in there right now, there is a special oil, but I'm going to miss the name. I think it's Kid Power. I've seen announced, okay, Kid Power, I think is the announcement of the blend that is for a limited time. So Little Oil or Kit may stay around a little bit longer, but Oil or Kid Power is going to be limited time only. So if you have friends with children or friends that want to use this more in their classroom, or they work with children in some capacity, definitely bring them along to this class and be sharing your stories and social media. I also have my jack-o'-lantern diffuser going back here as a little reminder that when you post, it doesn't have to be every day. We're not looking for people to post diffuser stuff every single day. We just want you to at least post once or twice, screenshot your post, put it in the lifestyle group in our thread, and you could be one of the lucky winners of one of these jack-o'-lantern stickers that you can decorate with. So this little giveaway contest will go from September 15th, which was yesterday, all the way through October 15th. So then you can get them in time for Halloween. Thanks.
Sheila.
That's all my announcements, I think.
That's great, and good announcement.
Deborah.
We get to pick a winner too, so you can
Right.
vote on that, Deborah.
Sheila,
Yes, hon.
thank you for sharing the depth of your relationship with the oils. Incredible. I feel like I'm so happy it's going to be on our YouTube channel, and just giving us, sometimes we put the oil on and we don't remember the power of the oil. So thank you for revitalizing me, just the power of the oils, and we just cannot let that go. I choose for us to keep sharing that. So amazing. And when you come up with that class with the well,
Yes.
yes, we would like to know that and put you on the calendar for that, because I don't know if people on this call know, but the well is very important to us as part of our logo, our Living Well Now logo. If you look carefully, the well from the Bible, the plant is in the well, and the plant is blooming, and the person there. So love to know more about your thoughts about the well.
Yay, good deal.
So love it. Thank you.
And our last winner tonight, Sheila, again, thank you so very much. Our fourth winner tonight is Brittany Moody. Congratulations to you. It sounds like you got a lot out of how our body's acidity can affect our connection to the oils. And so really working at creating a more alkaline body is important. So thank you, Sheila, for sharing that information as well. That was powerful.
You are so welcome. Oh, so good to see all your lovely faces. Thank you. Keep learning, keep using, keep strengthening your faith. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.